Hey everybody, welcome to this full walkthrough for the qualifying round of the Napa Valley Tournament. We're going to go through all 9 holes where you can shoot a minus 18 or better. All the individual holes are already posted on the page. But if you want, you can follow this walkthrough where I'll give you suggestions on the holes that I missed and how to correct those so that you can maybe improve upon that minus 18. As always, subscribe to the channel. Every time you like one of the videos, it helps put the content out, make it more visible for others so that we can grow our free-to-play community. With that, let's get started with hole number 1. All we need on hole 1 is a kingmaker. I did see a number of people play a luminary to try to get further distance for like an end bringer, but it seems more inconsistent to me. So we're just going to find this spot, 7 top spin, 1.8 right spin. We're going to just max plus 10% with P4 numbers in the app. And just take a look at that OP in the curl. Just a little bit, maybe 2 rings of OP there, a little bit of curl. It'll bounce down nicely to the bottom of the hill. And start to roll up for us. So now we've got a pretty simple shot into the pin here. So we're gonna count rings from minimum distance. So I usually do 10 at first and then move up just a few more based on where we're at. And there's a little bit of a glitch ball guideline there. So sometimes you can play no spin. Sometimes you may have to add spin. We don't really want that glitch ball guideline because we don't want a speed roll. So we're going to count our distance up so we can get our slider. This shot was 13% slider. And we're going to adjust minus 5% elevation. Hit perfect here, and you should be off to a good start with an eagle on your first hole. Hole number 2 is extremely challenging to get a consistent rollout. I did play this hole probably 4 times between the accounts that I was playing today. We're going to be at +3 with 5.2 backspin and 2 right spin. See how the ball guide is offset there. You could consider taking off a little bit of the right spin, as you'll see how this one misses. We're going to just mid minus 5%, and we're going to give it just a little bit of underpower. And this can be played with a kingmaker as well. But you'll see this come in and miss to the left, and it doesn't quite make it back. I'm sorry, misses to the right. So you can take off a little bit of that right spin if you want to try to get that hole in 1. Hole number 3, we've got no movement target, so love those. You can just jump right into the hole. Max top spin, 1.5 right spin. And we're going to adjust max plus 10% P4. And we're going to have max right curl. And you'll notice we stretch that down just a touch into OP. Not much at all. Great left can get you into trouble over there against the rough, but you can still reach the green, even if you end up in the rough. Okay, so we're going to estimate our distance here of the club. We're going to go for the rough bump here. Your spins could vary, but you're just looking to roll up in about a square to a square and a half passed through the hole, right through the center of the cup there. And then we're going to adjust minus 5%. Our slider here is 94%. Hit perfect, and watch this one roll in for another drop, an albatross with the Kingmaker. Let's move on to hole number 4. This proved to be the most consistent hole on the course today. I dropped it 5 times between practice and live rounds. Very simple setup. Max topspin, 1 left spin with our sniper. Ball guide is just through the hole. You can see the green ring is right there on the rough. And we adjust max minus 10%. There are a couple of different wind angles, but I dropped all 5 shots and I had at least 2 of the different wind angles, so there was no additional adjustment needed. And if you don't want to use a Kingmaker, you don't have to. Play the same shot with our navigator, same exact setup. Obviously, you're going to have a higher wind here, but green ring by the rough, ball guide line straight through the hole. Just remember on this shot that even if you're using the navigator, you're still going to adjust max minus 10% using P3 numbers in your app. We're playing the exact same shot. So make sure that we were using the Kingmaker, which is a P3 ball. We're using the same setup, even though it's a P1 ball. So make sure you use P3 in the app if you choose to use the navigator. So we watch this one roll perfectly into the cup. Hole 5 is one of the tougher holes here. We want to find this spot at +6. This is not a no movement target shot, so you want to look for where the rings are against the rough, or look at the ball guide. We're going to go max top spin. I've not tried this with an APOC 5 or 6, so I'm not sure if it'll actually reach the fairway on the other side. Max plus 10% P4 numbers. The beauty of this shot is you don't have to guess. It's max OP and max left curl. So you don't have to guess what the curl is. Max left curl, max OP. And if you want, like all these shots that are Kingmakers, you can use a Kingslayer or a Centurion if you want to knock the wind down. Generally makes the headwind shots easier, makes the approaches easier because you don't have to pull as many rings. So we're just looking to roll out there. Second shot here, here's where we'll make an adjustment for you, and I put it in parentheses up there. So the spins are going to vary. Usually you're going to have 3 left spin always, and then the top spin could vary anywhere between half a bar, maybe all the way up to almost 2 bars to try to get the ball guide where you want it. It's just an inconsistent rough bump. So I have it going straight to the hole there. And you're going to see how this one misses. I would try offsetting it maybe half a cup to the right. You're going to adjust minus 15% elevation and estimate the distance. I had at 96% on this shot. And watch, you'll see I did have maybe a tiny bit of left curl there, so that's another thing that could have pushed it. But I think if you offset that ball guide line by about half a cup, or maybe even like half a square, you'll be right in position. All right, hole 6, we're gonna blast. This is a risky shot, so if you don't feel comfortable, don't play it. Just drop the ball down the fairway and hit over. No movement target, and then we're gonna move over to the left. And I can't give you an exact number of rings because it's different for every level of Apocalypse. 4 topspin, 2 left spin based on this wind. If you get a 13 wind, you're going to want to go all the way up to 14.6. And if you're in a 15 plus, then you're going to want to go down to 3.5 top. Max plus 10%. We're going to push up to max. And again, pretty easy here, max OP and max left curl. So it's not necessarily an easy shot, but you don't have to get very technical with a specific amount of curl or a finite amount of overpower. So it's just full max curl and full OP. Hit perfect. And we're not trying to reach the green here. All we're trying to do is hit the rough and then roll out onto this patch of fairway, which leaves us a really nice end bringer shot. We'll just play the end bringer school plus 20%. Some people play the end bringer top spin method. I don't particularly like it on this hole because you're going to end up bouncing on the fairway and have to have an inconsistent roll up over onto the fringe and into the green. So I prefer the no spin and bringer school plus 20% here. If you do end up in the rough, you can play the rough iron school minus 30%. I was able to knock down that shot with one of my drives that missed left. Hole number 7. Find this spot here. Best thing to look at here is going to be the ball guide. So we're going to go 3.7 top spin, 3 right spin. I put a suggestion in here. If you do want to play with the Kingmaker, you're going to need to add more top spin, and you're going to need to offset the ball guide even more to the right because we have a huge bounce, which means the secondary wind effect is going to be even greater. So take a look at this ball guide line right here, and then you see it's like just off the right edge of the cup and how far past it is. That's what you want to mimic when you're looking to find the position. We're going to adjust mid plus 10% and then hit perfect. Again, you can do this with the Kingmaker, add more topspin, offset your ball guide even more to the right. Now, the most important thing to remember on this hole is if this happens to you, what happens to me, make sure that you do not throw your device across the room, because that's what I wanted to do right there. Good luck, get that drop. On hole number 8, you need to find this spot. It's not a no movement target, so find that spot based on where the rings are at. We're going to go 7.1 topspin and 2 right spin. Adjust max plus 10%, P4 numbers with max overpower, and check the curl here. You should roll out somewhere in the 390s. I had multiple attempts at this hole. You can play it with the Kingmaker as well. Yeah, there it is, 398. Here you're going to estimate your distance. There's a big funnel here, so back down onto this rough spot here. And I know the graphic there is blocking. It should shut down here in just a second. But you're going to find that funnel. Right there. And you'll see it glitch out. You want to be right after it glitches out. And then adjust slider minus 15%. This shot I estimated to be right about mid. So I adjusted mid minus 15% in this tiny OP, just a little bit of overpower. You can even make this with a great right or a great left as well. All right, the last hole has some risk to it as well. You're going to find this spot at max distance, going to go max top spin, 0.1 right spin. Not tested this with APOC 5 or 6. We're going to adjust max plus 10%. And then this is not pushing up 5 yards. We're going to push up to the plus 5 yard mark. Now, if you don't feel comfortable with this shot, you can drop the ball down the left side of that fairway and then try to play around the corner, which can leave you with a thorn for the third shot at the eagle. Max overpower, check the curl there. And you'll see we don't have a lot of room there, but we still have plenty of room between the fairway and the rough, but it can be a tricky shot. From here, we're going to go to the Guardian. We're going to stretch out to max, and we're going to look to be lined up to that bush. And then we're going to go max backspin and 1 right spin. And we're going to adjust max minus 55%. If you want to take a run at the pin, you can either use less overpower or you can adjust further down. So you could do max minus 50. This shot here is full overpower, full right curl. You notice it just gets us around the corner to bounce up and leave us a wedge. So you can use less overpower and try to cut that corner a little sharper if you want. Ultimately, we just want to get the eagle on here. There's not a real consistent approach for albatross. And then however you want to play this chip shot, I like this so close, I'll just go full top spin. And you'll see here, I think I have a great right. And it still drops. All right, guys, that's it. Couple of adjustments there. You can even improve on the minus 18 that I put up. And again, if you enjoy the content, like the channel, like the videos, that helps increase our visibility. Share with a friend. And best of luck in the qualifying round. Drop a comment. Let me know what score you got.